Hey guys, how are ya? So, it's going bonsoir, bonsoir. J'espère que tout ça va bien avec vous autres. All right, let me just get my ducks in a row here. I am doing a remote show from a secret location. All right, stream quality has been automatically lowered because the interconnection is not fast enough. Ooh. All right, so we're going to see how this goes. I am in a beach community in Florida right now. So I'm using the Wi-Fi provided to me by this hotel. So there might be some intermittent lag in terms of the video quality. So my apologies with that. Hey, good evening, Kevin. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Bonsoir. Okay, let's get this out of the way. All right. After 4 months of work, I feel like I'm not learning as quickly as I should. Well, are you doing your 20 minutes a day? Writing code every day? Just write a little bit of code every day. That's the key. So, yeah, actually, hey, Rob, how are you, man? It's been a while. Yo, JC. Always great getting a notification that you're streaming. I appreciate that. Thank you. So, let me jump into the subject at hand, and then we'll do a little Q&A. So, I've been teaching people for a long time, and I've been coding for much longer. So, what is the number one reason why people don't get into coding, don't become developers and coders? The number one reason is not intellectual. It's always psychological. Just about all the time. I'd say 98% of the time it's psychological. It's not so much intellectual. Meaning, chances are you're more than capable, intellectually speaking, to learn how to code. It's no big deal. In fact, in most things in life, you'll find that it's psychological impediments, fears and procrastination. These are the things that prevent people from achieving whatever they want to do. So if you're learning how to code, we're getting some lag here, so my apologies with the video. So if you're learning how to code and you've been having difficulties, chances are it's not intellectual, it's just those aforementioned things. Oh boy, are we getting a lot of lag here? We are getting a lot of lag. My apologies. Let's see if I can fix this. Output, video, audio, options, stream size, stream quality. Oh boy. Now we'll see what happens. Let me know. Are you guys getting lag? Or are you able to hear what I'm saying fairly clearly? Let me know. Yeah. Good evening. Love your content. Hello. Hope everything is well. Hello. So, let me know about the video quality. Yeah. All right. So, again, if you have been having difficulties learning to code, getting into coding, again, it's probably psychological. It's probably emotional rather than intellectual. So first thing, that's a good thing, because if it was intellectual, then there's not much you could do. But if it's psychological, there's a whole bunch of things you can do. First and foremost, I always tell people, spend that 20 minutes a day, just 20 minutes a day. There'll be many days where you sit there to write code or do some quizzing or read a lesson, watch a lesson, and you don't feel like you're making progress. Doesn't matter, you are making progress, but you have to be consistent. That is the whole key of it all. Okay, so the video is lagging and the sound is good. All right, so yeah, I'm even having lagging here on my end, so my apologies for the technical difficulties. Next time I'll stream out at 1080p to see if we can get a better stream that way. Yeah, right now it's set to high. I should stream at 1080 next time. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. But at least you can hear me. Video is good. All right. So that's it. So if you're learning how to code, the main point of the stream is that I'm very certain that you're more than capable of handling it. You just got to put a little bit more effort into it, and not push hard. You don't want to burn yourself. It's about consistent, a little bit every day, 20 minutes a day minimum, and just write a little code. The more code that you write, by the way, even code that you don't understand, the more quickly your brain is going to understand the concepts, and the more you're going to be able to get into it. Very important what you do. It's just like fighting. When I was learning how to fight, I jumped in the ring and I fought. And with every sparring match, every fight I had, my skills would jump up quite a bit. So yeah, that's the long and gist of it. I'll answer a few questions. Adam says, should I learn every day 3 hours? The max I would recommend you spend learning per day is 3 to 4 hours. Max. Minimum 20 minutes a day. What you should also do, by the way, is try to get a feel for your mind's capacity. Depending on you, you may be able to do 2 hours a day, an hour a day, or 5 hours a day. I don't know. But if you start feeling when you're coding in the first hour you're productive, when you start feeling your productivity, your level of engagement, your productivity, when you start seeing that drop, then it's time to back away and go do some exercise, drink some water or something, So, yeah. Cheers. I think you, greetings from Florida. That's where I am. I'm in South Florida as we speak. Yeah. All right, so I covered the subject, I think, in a very quick time, the last few minutes. So that's it. Again, I'll get to the questions now, but let me just wrap this up. If you're learning how to code and you've been having some difficulties, chances are highly likely that it's psychological, it's emotional. If you're procrastinating, then do that 20 minutes a day. Go watch some of my previous videos where I talk about those techniques of learning. Write code as much as you can. Again, that's why my program is designed the way it is, get you writing code. So the more code you write, the more frequently that you expose yourself to the material, the more quickly you will learn. So don't give up, but do give yourself little breaks here and there. But you don't want to give yourself 6-month breaks or 6-year breaks or 6-week breaks. You want to give yourself a couple of days off every now and then, okay? All right, so let's, there you go. That pretty much wraps it up. Let's see what we got here for questions. Stefan, thanks for your advice. Thanks to your advice, I have set up my website, almost ready. Congratulations. Any advice for getting the first contract? Well, I always talk about this. The first 2 to 3 little contracts that you do for free, if need be, just so you can get a portfolio out there. In terms of reaching out to people, reach out to local business, start talking to people. Hey, I build websites now. Do you need me to build your website? If you can get your first paid job, paid, your first contract paid. If you can get it paid, fantastic. But if not, just consider it a part of the learning process. Don't forget, I assume you're learning with me. I assume that you've gotten the freelance course. You have the freelance time tracker / project management template. Leverage that as well. And make sure that site looks good. Make sure that it presents well, because people are going to judge you based on how good the site looks big time. It's like a subconscious thing. Lizard Wizard training tells you that. That's somebody posted that on the forum recently. Not the forum, under one of my YouTube videos. They said that after having done many interviews, the commenter noticed without a doubt that the first few seconds, if not the first minute, the first 30 seconds, when you sit down to start an interview, they make a big judgment on you. So make sure your first impressions vis-a-vis your website is good. Make sure when you go in to talk to people, you speak professionally. Make sure you dress well. These are all very important aspects to the process. The first job, the first contract is always the hardest, no question about it. But then it gets easier and easier afterwards. So, yeah, there you go. No lag here. Sounds great. Good, 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 good. I late. No, I just started. Is there racism in coding, especially when it comes to hiring? I don't think so. I think, in fact, many companies, especially in the U.S., they're looking to have diversity. Most business people and most people are not racist. Vast majority. It's not practical to be racist at first. Like hire the top talent regardless of anything. Yeah. Can you explain OOP in a much better way for Python? Well, I cover that in depth in my Python course, but OOP is just a style of programming. It's a method of programming. It's a way to organize your code into little modules, if you will, little packages. Package 1, Python code in here. Package 2, Python code in here. Package 3, Python code in here. Each of these little packages are, we would call them objects in object-oriented programming. And each of these little packages / objects would have a name, the object name. And in these packages, in these objects, you have a bunch of Python code. And the code will do whatever you want the code to do. You could have some Python code to scrape a web page in one of these packages or objects. You can have another Python object that creates, say, an HTML form, so on and so forth and so on. So that's just briefly. If you want to really learn object-oriented programming in Python, just check out my course. It will help you understand a lot about it. Hey, Stefan, have you ever seen anyone from the defense industry going into software companies like Google or Facebook, aerospace engineer here? I have no personal experience in that regard, but I would imagine that you would be, depending on what your role was at the aerospace company, if it was, I imagine it would be you'd be looked at very seriously. So, do you have a Python course? I do, yeah. Check on the links below. I have a Python course. I have a whole section, a whole chapter on OOP. So, no worries. Cheers. This is the official channel salute, by the way. By the way, I had some technical difficulties with my camera. Basically, my battery ran out. I don't have I'm in a secret location in the south of the U.S. And so I don't have my professional cinema camera, so I brought my DSLR, and the battery went out on me. Anyway, so now I'm streaming with my iPhone. Marc-André says, I've always struggled with programmation. I think you are right. The more time you put in, obviously, it will get easier and easier. 100%, Marc-André. It's just a question of exposure, man. It's just a question of exposure. Just repetition and exposure. People are looking for hacks all the time. The hack is just to do a little bit every day. That's the hack. That's the secret. A little bit every day. The worst thing you can do is try to cram everything in on one day. You want to expose yourself to the new material. This goes with anything, by the way, whether it be coding, or writing, conversational skills, martial arts. It's about exposure on a regular basis. Appreciate the thumbs, everybody. Design patterns or algorithms, which one goes first? Mr. Momin Mohammed. Unless you're doing search engine development, maybe some AI, that would be algorithms. But if you're doing general programming, web stack, mobile, etc., design patterns are far, far more important. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Greetings. Greetings. Yeah, I cut my fingers today. I bought myself some stone crabs today, and I didn't ask the people at the store to break them up. So I had to break them up here, and they didn't have a hammer. So I had to hold the crab claws. I had to slap them down with a knife. It was like this was my knife hand. I was slapping down, and in the process, I cut my fingers. It's weird. I'm sure Matthew can speak to it. It's like I didn't realize I cut my fingers until I was like blood flying around. I was like, where's this blood coming from? It's coming from the crabs. No, it's from my fingers. That's the cost of eating stone crabs. I'm stuck as a Python dev. Every time I want to learn C++ or JavaScript, I get distracted. Well, just set a discipline. Say I'm going to do 20 minutes a day of JavaScript or C++, and just do that 20 minutes a day. That's it. Again, shameless self-promotion. I got a JavaScript course, which will get you up to speed in no time, and it's actually designed to make it easy for you to do that 20 minutes a day. Don't procrastinate. Osama says, I'm taking your fundamentals courses almost there, so what will be natural next successor course for it? I am 43. I'm not going to call you my Uncle Stef. However, I can call you Stefology. The next step is to build your portfolio website. You know, in the CSS3 Pro course, which you're doing, you build a fully responsive website. And so you should put up a demo website with your demonstrating your skills, and then you should go out there and actually run a couple of freelance projects so that you can get your hands dirty with real code. It's very important that you get your hands dirty with real code. Very important. So do that, and I think you'll be golden. What do you think about the R programming language? As far as I know, I haven't looked at it technically, not for a while anyway. Have I ever? I don't even remember if I ever looked at it. I may have. That being said, it is a niche language. I'm sure it's cool and technically speaking. Do I think there's a lot of R jobs? Is R going to take over the web and the interverse? No. But it's still, I'm sure it still has its use cases. Always look at the job, you know. Ranther says, to become a quality coder, a very good idea is to follow the gems of wisdom that the 169-year-old master coder Uncle Stef offers and click the thumbs up button. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thumbs ups are good. Thumbs up are good. I was a junior software developer for a couple years. I'm back after a long gap. I am choosing low-code job. Is that a good choice? Yeah. There's a lot of demand there. I was doing a couple streams a little while back talking about how there's a lot of power there, and companies are willing to pay people top dollar to implement the low code and no code solutions. If that's for you, you can be very productive with those tools. They're not competition to coders. They're just tools to add to the coding mix. Do I need to learn data structures and algorithms to be a web developer? No. If yes, then how much? You don't. It's some companies may erroneously, in my opinion, test for that, but no, data structures and algorithms has zero importance when it comes to web development. 99% of the time, you're much better to learn design patterns and refactoring, best coding practices, and good social skills. I had an appointment for you today, Lawson. Yeah, you missed out. Happens once in a while. I have no typing skills. I'm 50 years old, but I want to take your course. You'll learn to type as you write code. I became a much better typer in writing code. You know, you're going to learn. You know, the big time-consuming aspect of coding is actually in the planning of the structuring of the project, figuring out what tech to use. That's where the time is used up. The typing is not an issue. Don't let your lack of typing skill dissuade you from learning how to code. Trust me, that will come easily, naturally. Don't worry about that. So, yeah, if you want to rebook, Mr. Lawson, feel free. It happens. I know people can't make it sometimes, but don't worry, typing skills is not very cool. OOP encapsulation is like a blender. You can see and use the buttons, but you can't see or touch the inner workings. But the buttons make the insides work. Yeah, encapsulation is one of the core concepts in object-oriented programming. The idea is to, as he suggests, is you want to hide the complexity of what's going on inside of your objects, so that people can use the objects without having to understand all the details. That's one aspect of it anyway. Can a fresh developer find coding job remotely? Yes, you can. You just got to follow. I've answered this question so many times. Look at my back catalog of YouTube videos. Is your course free, the OOP for Python? No, it's not free. You have to buy me 2 coffees and a beer. I think it's like, is it $20 or something? Any tips on how to make a fast, nutritious food for cognitive coding? Well, if you're not a vegetarian, a small steak will do it. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I eat some red meat and I get in fighting mood. Drink water too. I'm 36 and I've worked in IT for 6 years. Is it realistically possible for me to start programming and make it a job? Why not? I know people are still coding in their late 50s, so why not? So, hola, Jesus Junkie. How are you? Welcome to the stream. I know this might be a frequently asked question. Yeah, well, yeah. You can do it. I've had people get jobs in months. So, is it normal? It's normal to do API, but don't resolve HackerRank problem. Yeah, HackerRank. Yeah, I never looked at it, but all these things, these code competition and these games, they're just like training wheels. They oftentimes they test things that have nothing to do with real world coding. They're crutches. They're once you learn your fundamentals, you should be actually building little projects. You start with little projects, simple projects, and then you move on. I wouldn't waste my time in hacking competitions and all this kind of stuff. That's just, you go on dates. You don't go to Pornhub. You go on real dates, Yeah. Hi, Stefan. I've noticed you have a lot of laughs at Ruby's expense. What is that about? Oh, that's just an old joke. There's 2 parts to it. Number one, back in the day, when Ruby was at its pinnacle, if you will, back in 2007, I started arguing that PHP would still stay dominant, and the PHP would be the dominant player in the distant future. And so that was back in 2007. So I have a bit of history there. I caused a bit of a stir on the interwebs back in the day. And then the other thing is I'm actually not making fun of Ruby, because I think Ruby has its strengths. I'm making fun of people who care about these things, because I'm of the opinion that language doesn't matter. You choose the right language and right technology for the job at hand. And you can find examples of very successful software and applications written in any of the major languages, including Ruby. So it's just an old joke, really. What else do we got here? I bought your web dev course 2 years ago. Is your new pro course included in the old course, or do I have to buy them separate? Just send me an email. The pro variants are just add-ons with some minor modifications. There's an extra chapters and extra material, like 40, 50 minutes of material. As you know, with the courses, I would update them when need be, the old foundation courses. So they're up to date 100%, especially because the foundations haven't changed, right? How can I get into self-driving cars with programming? That's probably done with C++. Public subs is the hack. Did you get the Joe sauce? No, I didn't find. Well, I got a mustard sauce specifically for the stone crabs. Yeah. You recommend Django for certain jobs. I would Flask for smaller jobs. Ask Matthew. Matthew should comment on Django. He knows his Django. Hey, bonjour. Comment ça va, Monsieur Leroux? Stéphane, long time no see. Happy 2022. Yeah, by the way, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. I think what keeps people from coding is dwelling on what language to start with. Just do Python, JS, whatever. Stone crabs, we still got to hang in Florida with an IPA. I'm in Florida now. Where are you? I'm in a secret location in Florida. I'm in Fort Lauderdale. Lauderdale by the sea. That's where I am right now. So hit me up if you want. Hola. Comment ça va? I said that in French, excuse me. How are you? Node versus PHP. What do you recommend for full stack development? Mr. Illusion AI, they're both good. I think if you want to do freelance, PHP is king, but Node is very good as well. Depends on what type of job you want to do. What I would do first of all, I assume you know your fundamentals, look around the job market, see what's available in your area in terms of jobs. And if there's a lot of Node, then do Node. If there's a lot of PHP, try out PHP. What are your thoughts on blockchain development as a career? I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be niche. There's definitely a future in it. I don't think it's going to be the big thing, but if you like it, then check it out. I got a super chat I should answer here. So, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. I got 200 something there. I'm not sure what those are, but I do appreciate it. Sir, I am 44 years old and have to rely on freelance only for my survival. Sir, which is best language or tech stack to learn so as to make good living in freelancing? Please help. Webstack, 100% Webstack, 100% jump into Webstack. And also for freelance, typically PHP is king for freelance. Second would be Node, perhaps. But yeah, definitely Webstack. All right. Let's see. I got to get to the questions here. Salesforce developer, a good career path or web development? Salesforce is more specialized, but I'm sure you can make good money there. Web development gives you many more opportunities. Mr. Verma, I'm doing Node. Node is good. That's good. Let me just get this a little bit bigger so people can see this. Hold on. There we go. That's good. No, that's no good. It's too big. All right. There we go. Some of these online courses are like 60 hours in total with 2 hours a day instead of doing 20. No, maximum I suggest is 3 to 4 hours max a day. So you'll be fine. You gotta, depends on your brain. I know, like my major in university was psychology, and I remember from those days that the human brain has peak performance of 3 to 4 hours a day peak. Some people could do a little bit more, some people a little less, but 3 to 4 hours is peak. After that, your cognitive capacity will crash quite quickly. So optimize your learning accordingly. I use R in academic investigation. There isn't much you can do in R that you can't. Pretty much, a lot of these languages, as I say over and over again, if you look at the top 10 languages out there, JavaScript, Python, C#, C++, C, Java, what else did I make? PHP, they're all pretty good. They all can do a lot, Each one has their strengths, though, but generally speaking, they all can do a lot. So, yeah, so Stefology. What is low code? Low code are tools, basically services, typically delivered through a website, a web app, that allow you to build out projects that traditionally you would have to do with coding. There's all kinds of different ones. Simple low-code solutions are like Wix and the Squarespace. Those are very, very simple. Well, Wix is a bit more advanced than Squarespace, but there's also far more advanced tools like Airtable and Retool, which allow you to do some pretty sophisticated back-end tools without having to write too much code. Although you have to understand coding, though. What do you think of a master's degree in statistics? Useful? Well, what you should do before you decide to jump into a master's degree in stats is look at what the actual jobs opportunities are vis-a-vis the master's degree. Do you need it? And how much more would it make you? And is it worth it? I don't know where you are in the world. If you're in the US, be very, very, very careful about student loan debt. I'm not somebody, it's like one thing I hear over and over again, it's like it's a cliche, people in bad student loan debt. Not good. Why is student loan debt so bad? Because it's the only debt that I'm aware of that is non-dischargeable through bankruptcy. That means that you can't get rid of it for life. It's debt slavery. It's crazy that that is there. It's really pernicious. Not good at all. Not good for students. So do not go into student loan debt. If anything, you take anything from my 2,000 videos, don't get into student loan debt. Is Shopify development a safer bet for freelance and Web3 blockchain work? For freelance, yeah, you're going to get a lot more work in Shopify right now than Web3 blockchain. As far as I know. I wanted to thank you for all of the knowledge that you share. No problem. I enjoyed it. I do this for fun as much as I do it as a bit of work for myself. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. You've helped me in times of doubt. I started watching you 4 years ago. Wow, I'm now a .NET developer. Thank you very much. Why? Congratulations, Paul. Raul, Rodriguez. I'm happy I was able to help, and congratulations on getting a job. And thanks for posting. Gives people who are looking into becoming a coder, a developer, gives them a little inspiration. Cool. Good stuff. Matthew recommends Django to the previous question. Can you recruit me into your team? I'd appreciate if you could be my mentor. I've gone very far in web development. I'm currently dipping my toes into Solidity. Well, I do have my mentoring program. Right now, I'm not hiring anybody new, but yeah. Well, you've made some progress, though. Yeah, good stuff. I've learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript from your course. What is the advantage of joining your mentorship program? All right, the mentorship. The big thing about the mentoring program is that besides having access to all my course material, not just my web stack, the Python, the project training, you learn how to get jobs, but we have bi-weekly live coaching sessions via Zoom where you can put questions to me. You also have the option to do consults with me. So the mentoring program is called the mentoring program because the mentoring is the most valuable aspect of it at all, above all. In fact, I'd say almost 50% of the people who've joined the mentoring program already know how to code. Some of them are very, very experienced developers. One guy in particular, I think he's got 20 years experience. So a lot of people join the program just to be able to put questions to me and get mentored. That's the big advantage. I got another super chat. I'll get to that here. Gabriel says, I'm from Brazil. I'm trying to make a program in Python and it didn't start coding yet. I am searching an IDE. Then I find PyCharm. Yeah, PyCharm is great. Then I saw a virtual environment, then virtual machines, and then Docker. There's so much to learn. I don't know where to start. Just start with Python. Make sure you know your way around Python, core Python, understand the Python world. And then you can start looking at other things like virtual machines and so on. You haven't said what kind of program you're trying to write yet. So yeah, I would stick to Python, work with PyCharm, and maybe you can go into VS Code. I think it's got some good Python support in there as well. But yeah, don't worry. There's a lot of stuff that you don't necessarily need to use. You may never need to use. So just stick to core Python and start planning out your app and decide whether or not you need to go for virtual machine at some point. You know what I mean? All right. I hope that helps. Merci pour la réponse, Oncle Stef. Non, pas de problème, monsieur. Pas de problème. I read somewhere that PHP is like the dirty adult language of the programming languages. Why? For WordPress, for freelance PHP, WordPress are the king. Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's. I created several websites for friends. I even built my last project with Next.js. Very cool. I would like to start web development as part-time work. How much should I charge for a project an hour? Well, it depends where you live, right? You have to see what the local people are charging first. Second of all, what you also have to do is you should start tracking your time, because when you're charging for your development skills, whether you're doing web development or any type of development, you have to also consider, as a freelancer, all your time you put into meeting with clients, sending them emails, doing specifications, researching on their project. I don't know if you got it or not, you should check out the time tracker template, which kind of breaks that down for you in my freelance course. It will cost you 2 beers, though. First time here, I work using Ruby, the best language ever. Yeah, I'm sure it's your first time here. How do I get from junior to mid-level? Be a very good coder, be a very good communicator. I have a hard time writing clean code and find good solutions for a problem easily. Well, that comes with practice, Mr. Ahmed. I would look at refactoring. There'll be a link below this video on a book, great book on refactoring. So learn refactoring. That's all about making your code cleaner. If you learn refactoring and then throw in some design patterns, you'll be mid-level coder no time. What do we got here? I didn't finish my learning yet, and some people chat me for a freelance project from scratch. Should I respond? Why not? See what it is. That might be a way for you to develop the skill. Ultimately, remember, you really learn how to code by building real projects, because a big part of the job as a developer is to be able to figure out problems. That's what you're really doing. A lot of times when you're a developer, pro developer, you are, what's the word I'm looking for? You are, in fact, learning new languages and technologies on the fly. It's not uncommon. So I would just check it out. See if you can do it. And just be transparent with them, you know. Maybe if you think you can do it, 60, 70%, you know, and they're willing to pay you, charge a little less, you know. You close by. I am in Pompano Beach. If you don't want to do web development, well, I still have a pool of opportunities just with Python and Kotlin. Just check out the local job opportunities, man. You know, it depends where you are, you know. Depends where you are. Damn, I'm in Montreal right now. We'll be in Delray Beach from January 12th to 26th. Haha, in 2020 I was in Florida the whole time and you were enjoying the curfew. And now the opposite. Well, that's it. and curfews were coming. I said, book it. I was gone. Well, I will be here the entire month and possibly into February. So we'll see. I'm heavy, Bert says, I'm heavy deep into the blockchain, Java, HTML, PHP. Very cool. All I need to code the blockchain, HTML, PHP, Java, C++. There we go. What is web stack? Do you mean any web stack like mean? Yeah, mean for sure. Could be a LAMP, HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript. Then choose your backend language. It could be JavaScript, it could be Java, C#, it could be PHP, Python. If I learn the web stack, do you think eventually moving from freelance to entrepreneur is realistic? Why not? That's what I did. And that's what my good buddy did. Now his company is worth like 1.5 billion. He started working for me. I trained him up. And then he started, put him out there to do some freelancing. And then he started his company. Do you think Tailwind is better than Bootstrap in terms of CSS frameworks? I don't. I know Matthew will have a comment on that. Personally, I haven't used Tailwind, so I couldn't say. I think they're both pretty good, but I believe Matthew prefers Tailwind. He will comment, check below. What do you think about Udemy Bootcamp like Cold Steel for becoming a developer? I think it's better to do my stuff. Would you recommend business app development or game app development as a business model? Business app development will be far more available. You have much more options. Game development is specialized. So if you want to make money, it's probably a lot easier to get into business app development. Happy New Year, Uncle Stef. Well, Happy New Year, Francisco. Udacity Scholarship for Cloud Architecture. Anyways, recently got accepted. That's cool. Anyways, what's your working experience with assembly, low-level code? Just curious. None. I've never done assembly. I looked at it once, and I went, not for me. So I don't have any experience with assembly. It's a very specialized type of coding, that stuff. So the Danny says, I really love assembly language, low-level language. It makes things fast. Yeah, it doesn't get any faster as far as I know. Is there any work in this field? Does it pay a lot? Many people have told me that it's not worth it. I believe there is still assembly work. It's going to be some really niche-y things, but I would imagine there's this many assembly jobs versus this many web stack jobs, but there's probably this many assembly programmers. So there's probably opportunity for you. What I would do is I would reach out to some companies, see if they're looking for people. I don't know, what do we got here? So yeah, I'm learning C#, Python, and C++. Is there any other language you would suggest for someone who is working towards becoming a software developer? I would, that's a pretty good combination there. I would start looking to do some real projects as opposed to learning a new language. But that's pretty good. Try to do some real projects. At this point in time, is it worth time and money to go to college for web development or software engineering? Google and I say no. Google and I say no. So I would say check out my mentoring program because I got to shamelessly self-promote, once in a while. Or solo learn, simply because the web stack and web development is a field that is very much a meritocracy. So all you have to do is demonstrate skill. They don't care if you have a degree or not. And you could do this within 6 months to a year on your own or in a program such as my own. And whereas if you go to college, you're looking at 4 years. So there's a tremendous opportunity cost there. Opportunity cost is your cost in not doing something else. So if you spend 4 years in college, there's going to be 3 years minimum where you're not making money and you're paying money. So not only do you have to pay for the cost of going to college, you're also paying the cost of not earning a living. So that's an opportunity cost to be very heavy. A couple of super chats I should get to. Hold on a second. I think I missed one before. Did I miss one? No. All right, here we go. Ali B, just showing my support for Uncle Stef and this amazing channel for sharing valuable knowledge for free. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you. Much appreciated. I appreciate the goodwill. What do you think is more lucrative, a 9-to-5 corporate life or freelancer career? Depends on your skill. If you have good interpersonal skills, a freelancer can make a lot more money. There's no question about that. Okay, I'm just going through my questions here. Hold on. R is very specific and it's not really a general purpose programming language. Exactly. Are you going to visit San Francisco? I've been there in the past. Beautiful city. No plans in the immediate future, though. I'm going to probably stick around South Florida for a little while. I might go to Texas, but I might go to Southern California. I have family there. And we got another super chat. Hold on. Let me move down. What's going on? My project is a program that converts an Excel file to SQL. Using Panda libraries. Okay, you just want to store, what you're really saying is you want to store Excel documents or the contents of an Excel document into a SQL database. That's what you're saying. Yeah, fair enough. There are libraries that will do that. Then I will a GUI for using the database, searching register. Do you know the best thing? Yeah, pandas. Yeah, if you got pandas for that, yeah, then use Python. Yeah, just work on Python. You can do all that with Python, so don't worry about that. Did I miss? Did I miss? Hold on. Sorry, I'm just trying to find. Hold on. All right, I love the idea of freedom when it comes to a career. Do you see freelancing as freedom, or is it still like working for different bosses? Good question. Depends how you structure your freelance business. Take down some notes. So number one, general rule of business. And I've been in business longer than I've been a coder. So first rule of business, it's better to have 20 small clients than to have 5 big clients. Better to have many small clients than are very few big clients. Why? Because if, for example, you have 3 clients and they make up your entire, all the money that you make, if you lose a client, it hurts, right? If you lose 30% of your revenue, it's a big shot, not painful. And smart clients will pick up on that, and some of them will take advantage and start pushing you around a bit. So you become a slave to them. They become your bosses, essentially. Whereas if you have 10 clients or 15 clients or 20 clients, and they're each responsible for 5% of your business here and 10% of your business here and 5% of your business there, they can't control you. So if you have 10 clients and one of them is starting to act up on you and being a troublemaker, you can say bye-bye. You can say bye-bye to the client, salut, as they say in French, because you have that flexibility because you got 9 other clients, right? So yes, when you freelance, if you structure your freelance business properly, it will give you total freedom, because also with freelancing, your clients can't tell you when you work. They can't tell you what kind of coding that you do. You can accept and refuse whatever projects you want, depending on your finances. You can set your rate. You can decide to work at night or the weekend. You can take a week off if you want, etc. So there is a lot of freedom with freelancing, but the caveat is that you have to first establish yourself as a freelancer. But that's the payoff in the end, right? How can I switch from JavaScript developer to C Sharp? First thing you got to do is learn C Sharp, you know, learn C Sharp. And then you got to start looking around at the jobs. Yeah, VS Code is cool. Trevor says, Happy New Year's, and hope you had a great Christmas. I did. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining. Loudre M. Valandia Calderon. Happy New Year from Sunrise, Florida. Hey! Happy New Year. What are your thoughts on Swift for freelancing? Ooh. I would say that would be more difficult. I think those are more. I think Swift is more inclined to full-time jobs. Yeah. I've been learning Rails for 2 years. I don't have any problems with it. Should I keep going or switch to Python JS? Well, after 2 years, you should be being paid now. You should have a job now. All right. Why aren't you getting paid as a Ruby on Rails developer right now? I know that they're out there, those jobs, and I know they pay highly. Are there Rails jobs in your area? Have you tried applying to those jobs? Yeah. So if you like Rails and there are jobs, then do Rails, you know. But if you can't find any jobs, then you got to switch to Python, right? I am a WordPress freelancer and I do well for myself. My problem with coding is attention span. Use my 20-minute a day trick. Also, you may want to check out my Lizard Wizard course. People really like that course. It's going to help you with procrastination and attention spans and learning. Link is below. It's very, very inexpensive. It's like tipping me to get that course. Some people either dedicate themselves and the other type truly enjoys it and bask in coding. Hey, Stef, I'm overwhelmed with what to do first. Where the heck do I start with coding? What would you recommend? A bootcamp? If you're not sure, then take a little introduction course to something, HTML, CSS, Python, maybe. Try that out, see how you like it. If you are sure you want to get into coding, I would recommend my mentoring program. You're welcome to go pay $5,000, $10,000 for a boot camp or more. You can check out my mentoring program. People really like it, so check it out, link below. I know people on here are in the program, they're doing well with it, so I got that one already. Okay, Matthew says, does artificial intelligence pose a threat to software engineering jobs in the long term? Not for a long time, man. Artificial intelligence still can't drive a car properly, and that's infinitely less complex than developing software. So no, the short answer, I don't see it as a risk anytime soon, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Worth learning neural networks with the way IT is going, if you're interested in it, As a general rule, I find that you can't really go wrong learning anything except for Ruby. No, I'm just joking. Even Ruby, you can't go wrong learning anything. It's cool because the skills are transferable, right? Like you had the guy, he's been 2 years learning Rails and Ruby. He's wondering if he should switch to Python. It won't be hard for him because these languages are all very similar. It wouldn't be hard for him to switch over. New thoughts on Swift. New thoughts on Swift and iOS. Actually, I got a video I recorded. I haven't edited it specifically on Swift, but not iOS. Well, it could be iOS. Rumor has it, and I believe it's true, that Apple is coming out with a VR, AR headset, a la Oculus. And based on the specs that are rumored, I think it's going to be a game changer. I just bought the Oculus, and I'm pretty impressed with that thing. And I think the Apple one, from the specs, are going to be like double the resolution of the Oculus, lighter, faster to get their M1 chips in there, probably. Well, definitely. And they're probably going to be doing a lot of development for Apple's version of the Oculus, whatever they call it. It'll probably be called eyeglasses or something. Anyway, I imagine they're going to be using Swift for that. So I think that will breathe even more life into Swift. Swift is a very good language, by the way. It's a very good language. So yeah. Hi, Arash from Iran. Welcome to the stream. I know Python. I'm interested in learning Django and Flutter. Is that a logical way to go? Any suggestions? If you want to do the web stack with Python, then learn Django for sure. And then afterwards, learn Flutter. I assume you know your HTML and your CSS. And I assume you know at least basic JavaScript. Is WordPress a tool every front-end developer should learn? No, only if you need to. Super chat from Jerry Albert. I got a feeling that was a fake super chat there. Okay, I got a super chat, a real super chat down below. Hold on. Here we go. Hey, Trey Brown, how you doing? How are you? Where is your web stack course? I have bought and completed your Python course. I have not done the course certification test yet. Oh. The web stack course is in the store as well. It's a complete web developer. And there you go, man. All right. Hey, Uncle Steph, I chose Power Apps developer career. What do you think about that? Thank you. Hey, if you like it and there's work in it and money in it, why not do it? What are the most demanded jobs in Canada? Probably different types of web stacks, web stack related jobs. That's my guess on that one. Uncle Steph, will you ever get into Go or will you ever recommend it? I haven't used Go. It's one of those niche languages, right? It has its uses. I'm sure it's very good at certain things. I just haven't had a need to look at it. So, again, general rule when you're looking at technology, first of all, don't get too caught up in it. Let's say you happen to choose a language, I don't know, whatever it is, Python, but you can't find Python jobs in your area. So what? You just switch over to JavaScript or you just switch over to Java or C#. Won't be a big deal for you. So if you like Go, try it out. Are Java jobs only to maintain legacy programs? Most Java, as far as I can tell, is for legacy work, although there's a lot of Java, I would imagine, still for Android development, although Google now suggests Kotlin as their number one choice for Android. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of legacy stuff. And Go is tough to set up and has a lot of opinions. There you go. All right, so let's see if I missed anything, because we're coming up on an hour. Good stream. I appreciate the thumbs, everybody. Kobo. Oh, yeah. Why don't you own a house? I do own, and I do own more than one. I'm right now on vacation, so I'm renting a hotel room here. Do you have a course that teaches React? No, I don't. But if you learn the web stack properly, you should be able to learn React fairly quickly with something on YouTube's. How do you relax your mind and prevent eye strain after coding all day? Well, first of all, you should take my Lizard Wizard course, link below. That will help you. And so, yeah, you want to step away from the computer once an hour. Go do a little micro exercise. Do like 10 push-ups, drink some water, do some stretches, do some kicks. You want to take breaks, pace yourself. So you give your brain and your mind some time to relax and help prevent eye strain as well. So pace yourself, take little breaks, you know. The Apple one will be 8 times the price. Well, of course it will. You wouldn't, but you know, when Apple first came out with their iPhones, a lot of people were saying that's too expensive. It was very expensive for its time. But, yeah, well, you know the history of that, right? What do we got here? Learning HTML and CSS so far, and it's hard. I feel stupid. Laugh aloud. So much to remember. Well, Chris, don't worry about it. First of all, the key to learning how to code, whether it be HTML, CSS, or programming like JavaScript or Python, is not remembering. That will come. Just just write the code every day. Do 20 minutes a day, and all of a sudden you start remembering things. Um, and also, when you become a professional developer, you're going to use code editors, tools that will write the code out for you. So you type in the beginning of some code, and it will complete it for you. Coding is not a memory game. It's a conceptual game. And in fact, like I can tell you, I've written software in many different languages over the years, commercial software, being paid to do it. I don't count the stuff I just played around with. I forget so much now. It's like like in terms of specifics, like I wrote so much Java code, unbelievable amounts of Java code, but I don't remember right now because I haven't written Java in years. I don't remember the basics of what's in the Java world now. But it would take me about 2 hours to get back up to speed again, right? I just have to start looking at it, start writing some code. Oh yeah, look it up, Stack Overflow, Google. My IDE would tell me stuff. So don't worry about it. Just keep doing a little bit every day, Chris. Just do a little bit of coding every day, a little bit of coding every day. At first you'll forget, but then you'll start to remember. Remember, memorization is not important today. You have Google, right? You have Stack Overflow. It's not important. Concepts are important. What stacks do you think Apple used to build their product website? Oh man. I remember back in the day, Apple used something called Web Objects. Web Objects. Was it Fusion? Web Objects Fusion? I'm not sure if it was Fusion, but it was called Web Objects. And it was originally an Objective-C model view controller web stack framework, but they ported it to Java. So at one point in time, the Apple for their product website rather, they use Web Objects, which is basically a Java-based implementation. They may be still using it, as far as I know. So it's probably that. It's probably Web Objects, which is Java. I had Web Objects, by the way. I remember at one point when you wanted to buy Web Objects, a server license was 50,000 US dollars per server license at the time. And then Apple put it on, just decided one day, okay, I think it was like 600 bucks. So I bought a copy. And it was pretty cool, but it had some pretty bad bugs too. But it was still very powerful for its time. I think I got everybody. Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining the stream. I'm coming to you from sunny Florida, although it's not so sunny today. And do you have a course for front end? Yes, I do. Check out my web designer course. Teach HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript. That is difficult. I imagine it could, but you would have to really work it. That's much more of an online marketing thing, but it's doable. Have you used Blade in the past? And so, do you recommend using a Blade? Are you talking about Laravel blades? Other than that, no. I like you being I like you being American. Thank you, America, for giving us the internet. Mr. Mansour, I'm actually Canadian, but I'm in the U.S. right now, and a lot of people in my family are Americans. Yeah, keep going, man. Don't give up, Chris. Keep going. And check in back here. Let us know when next live stream how you're doing. Just try to do 20 minutes a day. If you're doing an hour a day, that's cool. Don't worry. It will come. It will come. Apple is using Java. Yeah. They used to be, so imagine it's. Thankfully, in the UK, student debt is wiped off after about 30 years. Wow. But it's still not worth getting into. The internet adds up fast. The interest adds up fast. Yeah. Again, Google says don't do it. I never got a degree in computer science. My university was psychology. It's a true meritocracy development these days. It always has been. So if you're good, you get a job. You forgot mine. Your question. Put it again. And many others. Belated HY, Happy New Year, Uncle Stef. I appreciate it. 222 from Nepal. Huh, very cool. May you become 170 years old this year. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'll try to get a few more questions, but then I must be off. There we go. Can you build a totally cross-platform app using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP? Yes, of course, 100%. That would work well both as website and native apps on all platforms. Oh, native? No. But you don't want to do native. The whole, most of the time, let me say that. Most of the time, you don't want to do native. You can get very performant applications now with the stack that you mentioned, especially if you get into PWA. With PWA, I don't know if you do PWA on a desktop, on a client. You do it on the phones, of course. But yeah, I don't know what your app is. I don't know what you want to do. But I know that you can do native apps with WebStack for Microsoft. They've integrated that into Windows 10. So, all right. That's it, guys. It's been an hour, over an hour. I got to go. Thanks for joining the stream. And I appreciate the super chats everybody contributed. And if you do like this stream, I appreciate a thumbs up and letting people know. And I'll do another one this week as well. Cheers. Oh, you know what? A little ASMR for you guys. There it is. Come on. This is Cape Elizabeth, Maine.